Now on the CTV News at 5, G7 Summit tourism boost, what southern Alberta tourist destinations are seeing. Plus, after extensive renovations, the Fritzik Pool reopens. And the Battle of the Badges returns.
Telling your stories. CTV News Lethbridge with Jackie Scantlebury.
Good afternoon. Thank you for being with us today. Canada has pledged over $4 billion in additional support for Ukraine. The Prime Minister outlining the details today at the G7 in Kananaskis. Mark Carney met with Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky on the sidelines of the summit today. Carney says Canada is providing $2 billion for drones, ammunition, and armored vehicles. We're also lending Ukraine $2.3 billion to help the country rebuild its infrastructure. The loan will be repaid through interest charged on frozen Russian assets. There's also a new sanctions package targeting Russia. Now, with the G7 summit putting a spotlight on Kananaskis, thousands of eyes around the world are getting a glimpse into the Rocky Mountains, and tourist destinations are hoping to capitalize on that. While focused on K-Country and nearby Banff, places south are hoping to see a long-term tourism boost, with many attracted to the national parks in the Rocky Mountains. The Calgary Chamber of Commerce says the summit could generate around $240 million for Alberta's economy. Those in Waterton Lakes National Park say they are already coming off one of the busiest weekends in June on record because of the G7 summit.
It's going to be amazing for Alberta. I mean, for us, we're very lucky, and we take it for granted sometimes. Look out our window and see these beautiful, big, majestic mountains. But I think it's going to be amazing for the rest of the world to be able to see everything Alberta and Canada has to offer.
The G7 summit wraps up tonight. The Piikani Nation has announced nomination and voting dates for a by-election for a councillor position. The by-election is being held after Martin Ironshirt resigned at the end of last year. A nomination meeting will be held June 26th from 4 until 7 p.m. at the Community Hall in Brockett. Voters head to the polls Tuesday, July 22nd from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. again at the Brockett Hall. No advance polls will be held. All right, time to check in with Danielle Savoni and the forecast. And Danielle, we've got some developing weather, severe thunderstorm watch underway, I believe.
Yes, exactly, Jackie. So here's what's happening at this time. And what we're getting is these this convective activity in the foothills. And then this is tracking off to the east. We have this activity south of Medicine Hat as well. This is what's been happening over the last couple of hours. Now, this is why we have the watch in place in the yellow, severe thunderstorm watch, down Highway 2 to Claresholm, over to Lethbridge, down to Goots, and over off Medicine Hat included in this. And this is because there is the potential for some of these cells to really pick up in intensity and even provide that larger size hail and those stronger wind gusts. So severe thunderstorm watch in place for Lethbridge, 27 degrees right now. Temperatures are hot. We have lots of ingredients in place for very active weather, so keep your eye on the sky, and we will continue to keep you posted. Jackie?
All right, thank you, Danielle. Fire crews' quick response is being credited with limiting the damage of a Northside house fire this morning. Around 7 o'clock, crews from 4 stations responded to report of a house fire in the 1900 block of 6th Avenue North. Upon arrival, firefighters encountered smoke and flames coming from the rear of the building. Crews entered the building and quickly extinguished the blaze, stopping it from spreading. No one was injured. The cause of the fire is under investigation, and damage is estimated at over $250,000. Lethbridge Fire and Emergency Services says there is no reason for alarm if you see black smoke on the city's north side. Training exercises are underway at station number 4 on 5th Avenue North from 10 a.m. until 3 p.m. daily until Friday. LFES says there is no risk to the public. The city of Lethbridge is warning residents about a payment scam circulating on Facebook regarding purchasing an unlimited travel smart card. The Facebook profile, Public Transport in Lethbridge, has a post offering fraudulent smart cards if users click a link and enter their credit card information. The city says it's reported the page to Facebook. The city says any Lethbridge Transit information about fare cards can be found at lethbridgetransit.ca/transit. Alberta's Medical Association is joining the growing chorus of concern about the province's decision to limit free COVID vaccines. Last week, the UCP government announced it would start charging most Albertans for the shot, only offering the vaccine at health clinics and making everyone order their own COVID vaccine months in advance. The president of the AMA says the new policy will leave behind many seniors and healthcare workers. Dr. Shelley Duggan says creating barriers to vaccination is counterproductive and points out the new policy is going against recommendations from Canada's National Advisory Committee on Immunization. Alberta's premier claims the changes are in response to the amount of vaccine wasted last year. Well, Alberta now has 961 confirmed cases of the measles, with that number growing each day. Today, there are 29 new cases, 11 in the north, 18 in the south, pushing the region's total number of cases since the outbreak began to 665. 3 people have been hospitalized, including 1 in the ICU. Health officials say the best protection against the highly contagious and preventable disease is 2 doses of the MMR vaccine. A joint investigation by Canada and the UK into a massive data breach at 23andMe says the company failed to protect customer data.
The breach serves as a cautionary tale for all organizations about the importance of data protection in an era of growing cyber threats. It is particularly relevant at a time when more and more personal information is being collected, used, and shared in a growing digital economy.
The 2023 breach affected almost 7 million people worldwide, including nearly 320,000 Canadians. The compromised data included information related to health, race, ethnicity, as well as relatives, date of birth, and gender. The investigation blames inadequate security measures. The company agreed to pay $30 million US to settle a lawsuit before filing for bankruptcy in March. 3 research projects exploring the connection between physical exercise and cognitive function, led by a Lethbridge Polytechnic instructor and 2 University of Lethbridge students, have been selected to present their work at a conference in Italy next month. Simon Shares, Xander Fox, and David Sellis took part in 3 projects to demonstrate how physical activity aids in building cognitive skills, particularly in youth. One of the projects looks at physical activity to improve executive function and memory flexibility with the Polytechnic's esports team. Another project focused on creating a framework to help teachers in training develop physical education programs that support students' executive function. And the third project examined the use of progressive overload in long-term exercise to improve executive function.
It's a really cool opportunity to go overseas and get to present and not only share my research with people from multiple different countries and backgrounds and areas of research, but also to get to take in a lot of research from other people that have various different backgrounds in research.
Being able to kind of do your own projects, even if they're small scale, we don't have the capacity to do these massive studies, but just small studies, literature reviews that are really meaningful in the sense of training future to-be researchers, really, really valuable.
The trio will present their projects at the European College of Sports Science Conference from July 1st to 4th in Italy. Grasshoppers have been a long-time problem for farmers in southern Alberta, but some timely rains may have helped reduce their population this summer. Quinn Keenan has that story.
A group of grasshoppers have the ability to wipe out a field of crops if they're not taken care of. Grasshopper outbreaks can be spotty, but farmers know all too well the damage they can cause.
Well, grasshoppers, they can totally decimate a crop. They can eat it almost right to the ground. So it seems like if there's a few, there's a lot. And when there's a lot, they can do a lot of damage unless you get control on them right away.
Grasshoppers flourish in hot and dry conditions like what southern Alberta has seen this spring. But what rain the region has seen could help keep the population down.
They started hatching in mid-May, which is a little bit early, and then they were clipped off by rain. And then they started hatching again and clipped off by that second good rain. You know, we had a lot of places around southern Alberta had 9 or 10 millimeters on about June 12th or so. That wiped out a number of them.
Timely rain has kept the population at an average size. Any additional rain at this point won't stop more from hatching, but can keep grasshopper numbers smaller.
They're mostly in the older stages now, and they could probably take the rain, but when it rains, it's cool, and they don't grow. They just wait it out, and the longer they wait it out, the lower survival they have.
While the population may not be significantly larger than last year, farmers will still have to be on their toes. They'll do everything from spraying pesticides when there's an outbreak to more preventative measures.
Preventative measures, it seems like they overwinter in the ditches and the tall grass and things like that's where they get their eggs laid. So if you can somehow keep your ditch grass shorter, that seems to be a help because they seem to move in from the outsides of the field towards the middle.
The 2024 Provincial Grasshopper Survey notes egg-laying conditions were ideal last fall. That means there's still a chance for large outbreaks to occur. Quinn Keenan, CTV News, Lethbridge.
A much more accessible Fritzik Pool has reopened in Lethbridge. The pool has undergone extensive renovations to bring the facility up to accessible standards over the past few months. Now built in the 1950s, the pool now includes barrier-free showers and toilet stalls, more showers, widened access points to the pool, a larger lobby, and non-slip floors.
Fritzik Pool is a treasure to this community, and it's well loved by the people that use it. So it was very important that we fix the change rooms. We do some upgrading, I should say, so that it has a longer life, that it offers more to the public, more accessibility, so more people can use it.
You know, originally built as an outdoor pool, a lot of the configuration of the change rooms and everything is all original, so it did not meet, you know, accessibility standards at all. So we wanted to upgrade it from a life cycle perspective to make it more accessible to the community.
The total cost of the renovations, just over $1 million. First responders in Lethbridge are getting set to go to battle, but this time against each other. This year's Battle of the Badges will see members of Lethbridge Fire and Emergency Services take on members of the Lethbridge Police Service in a softball game at Spitz Stadium next weekend. While the fire department is hoping to extend their win streak to 2, the police service holds a 4-1 record. The fire department will be collecting donations for the Lethbridge Firefighters Charities Association, while police will be competing for the Chinook Regional Hospital Foundation's South Zone Cardiac Center campaign.
When we're responding, typically it's for the community and residents some of their worst days. And so for us to get out here and just really celebrate our two services in a more of a lighthearted, spirited, friendly competition, I think it's really great for the community.
They're the fabric of our community. They keep us safe, you know, and it's just it's just a celebration of what they mean to our community.
If you were to ask me what I might expect from a game like this, I would tell you that I would expect the fire department to show up jacked, ready to play, maybe with a stacked roster. They're going to play to win, and they're going to be extraordinarily well rested.
The Battle of the Badges is set for June 27th. Tickets are $15 and can be purchased at bullsbaseball.com. All right, Danielle is tracking the latest developments in the forecast. She's back right after this break. Also, how some BC researchers are studying athletes' brains to improve their performance.
All right, Skycam facing northwest. At this point, facing northwest, looks okay. We do have the potential to get more severe storms out there, Lethbridge and off to the east and to the south of Lethbridge. I will talk more about that in just a second. 24 degrees was the highest temperature so far today, 23 in Edmonton, 25 in Regina, 27 in Saskatoon, and even out east in those mid-20s. So we are looking at quite a bit of heat for this time of year in many communities, and at least a couple degrees above normal. The warmest temperatures in this corner here, in the southeast corner, and again, this is why we have the watch in place. We have all the ingredients in place for some of these cells to intensify to that higher level. So, for example, larger size hail, stronger wind gusts around 100 kilometers per hour as these cells burn through. At this point, we have nothing tracking towards us, but I do want to show you where the watch is. Calgary, down the QE2 to Claresholm, over to Lethbridge, down to Milk River, over through Foremost, over to Brooks and Medicine Hat. Even Empress is included in this as well. This is where we could see activity reach that more severe criteria if we get it. Before we get into the very active weather that's happening out there in some spots, what I do want to alert you to are these two systems out in the Pacific right now. They may actually combine and become more intense. And that could lead to very heavy rain by the time we get into Friday and the weekend. 50 plus, 60 plus millimeters possible at this point. Again, the model's not in agreement, but this is what could happen as we get to later this week with much cooler temperatures. So the weather will likely change significantly in a couple of days. Okay, here's that active weather that's pushing through, mainly off to the north right now. We had some cells that really reached that severe criteria as it pushed off into Saskatchewan and some larger size hail. But for now, it's fairly quiet. We do have the potential, though, for this activity. So just keep in mind, if you see those darker clouds roll in towards you, take those seriously for today. And if you have a garage, put the car in it. Okay, we have not a whole lot going on. There are some cells tracking south of Calgary and off to the east, so just be aware of the potential for today. Fast forward, this will clear out and we have no potential of any sort of active weather by about midnight, and then sunny for the morning, Calgary and South Lethbridge in through Medicine Hat. Then we get the potential of thunderstorm activity once again for later in the day tomorrow, but that should be north of Lethbridge. And then at this point, I'm going to fast forward to Friday when you can see some intense rain starting to push on up. So again, the model's not in full agreement, but a lot of rain is possible. I'm going to show you that in the long range in just a second. Gusts 40 kilometers per hour likely tonight, well, at least for the evening in the East Kootenay area, and then picking up again tomorrow to 40. 26 is a high, and mainly sunny skies for tomorrow. Crozes Pass area, small chance of a thunderstorm, but again, still in that severe thunderstorm watch box. So something to pay attention to, of course. And then tomorrow, clouds increasing later in the day, gusts about 60 kilometers per hour. So a windy day tomorrow with a high of 25. Medicine Hat area, same type of idea. We have the risk of thunderstorms for the next couple of hours in that severe thunderstorm watch box, and then also possible for tomorrow, although less likely for tomorrow with a high of 27. High 20s Wednesday and Thursday. This comes with stability, but a little windy. And then by Friday, we could see, well, first official day of summer, 10 to 15 millimeters of rain. Saturday to 20 to 30 millimeters, and another 5 to 10 is possible on Sunday with temperatures in just those double digits.
A new study is examining brain activity in hockey players. Researchers' cutting-edge technology can also help athletes better understand their performance. CTV's Ben Nesbitt explains.
McDavid's going to break. Connor McDavid scores! NHL superstar Connor McDavid has pushed the boundaries of physical performance with his electrifying speed. But now SFU researchers are hoping to help athletes speed up their brains.
We discovered a way to measure cognitive performance.
Neuroscientist and SFU professor Ryan Darcy co-founded the NeuroCatch brain scanner. The portable device measures brain responses related to sensory, attentional, and cognitive processing in just 6 minutes using a soft cap.
We can measure you thinking faster, and we can optimize that so that you're actually able to perform better from a mental processing point of view.
The device is being used by sports teams around the globe, and recently Darcy wanted to put it to the test here in BC, where he and his team tested nearly 380 Junior A hockey players. The results ultimately differed by positions, with forwards having about a 60 millisecond faster processing speed on average than defensemen.
By our ability to measure their objective brainwaves, we could start to find the things that actually allow them to think faster.
The athletes can then take the feedback and incorporate mental training into their regimen.
We now have kind of an incredible list of things that allow you to shave like 50, 100 to 150 milliseconds off of your ability to cognitively anticipate the play.
Helping skaters stay a step ahead, one scan at a time. Ben Nesbitt, CTV News, Vancouver.
Still ahead, it's do or die for the Edmonton Oilers. We have got sports coming up next. A rare day off for the WCBL yesterday with no game scheduled. Two Southern Alberta teams are back in action tonight. Medicine Hat Mavericks and Brooks Bombers meet in Medicine Hat. After a hot start, the Mavs have cooled off, now sitting second in the East. The Bombers are looking to get back into the win column. They're on a 5-game losing skid. First pitch is 7:05. The Stanley Cup will be in the building tonight in Florida. The Oilers say they are prepared to do everything they can to make sure the trophy goes back in its case for a long flight back to Edmonton for Game 7.
Excited about the opportunity. You know, as you said, we've bounced back. A lot's been made about that. We talk about that all the time, but for whatever reason, our group doesn't like to make it easy on ourselves and put ourselves in another difficult spot, and it's our job to work our way out of it, and I would expect that.
Only 8 teams in NHL history have won Game 6 and 7 to lift the Stanley Cup. The Oilers were in the same position in 2006, winning in Game 6, but coming up short in Game 7. And last year, the Oilers won 3 straight elimination games before Florida ultimately took the win in Game 7. The team says they are familiar with the situation and will draw on that experience.
We got a lot of guys that, for whatever reason, and like adversity, like the competition, like the being pushed, there's lots of experience to draw back on, but for us, we just got to enjoy the moment, enjoy the game, enjoy taking it one day at a time.
Oilers' Stuart Skinner will be between the pipes. Puck drop is 6 o'clock. If the Oilers win, Game 7 is Friday. In a central Saskatchewan town, Chris Knobloch's parents have been watching the Oilers Cup run alongside fellow community members. The Oilers head coach grew up in Imperial, Saskatchewan, and his parents still live there. The town of fewer than 400 people hosts watch parties every game at the local rink. They were there to watch the Oilers' stunning comeback earlier this week.
Yeah, it's hard to watch at times. I always knew he had hockey sense. He knew the game inside and out, and that was his strong point.
So who's the better coach, you or Chris?
He's light years ahead of me.
Bob Knobloch says if the Oilers win the Cup, it will be the biggest party Imperial has ever seen. The town has permanent signs to recognize Chris and Utah Mammoth NHL goalie Connor Ingram, who was also raised there. Canada's national men's soccer team will be on the pitch in Vancouver tonight for the beginning of the CONCACAF Gold Cup.
And Promise David with another steal. He's in a hole. Promise David, can he make it 3? There it is! Promise fulfilled!
The team is coming off recent success after winning the Canadian Shield tournament earlier this month. Canada takes on Honduras tonight. Then they play Caraco on Saturday and El Salvador Tuesday. You can catch the action on TSN. Still ahead on the CTV News at 5. Lots of us like to take our dogs for a walk to get some exercise. Coming up, the workout one dog is giving his owner. Welcome back. Now to a workout buddy that makes training fun. Who needs to go to the gym when you have an active dog like this one? Marv keeps his owner motivated while she works out from triceps to legs to biceps. And they actually call this the full body Frenchie burn. And she clearly is working out. How funny is Marv? Oh, so sweet. Thank you for sharing this time with us. Now here's the early edition of the CTV National News.